Okay, you saw the thumbnail. Everyone's hands poised over the keyboard, ready to spew over the comment section. Let's do this.
Just do it!
I can feel your anger.
It's become something of a punchline. And no, I'm not talking about this lightsaber. I can see how it looks cool, and yes, they got me to spend the money on it, but this makes absolutely no sense design-wise. And the same thing can be said of The Last Jedi. I think most people think of the sequel trilogy like this. First, you had the setup, then you had the sabotage, and then you had one of the most botched efforts at damage control the world has ever seen that leads to lines like this.
Somehow Palpatine returned.
It churns my stomach whenever I see a wonderful actor like Oscar Isaac forced to deliver a line like that. But here is my hot take.
So hot right now.
It's not Rian's fault. There are two kinds of directors in Hollywood, auteurs and executors. No, that's the executor. Executors, while they each have their own style and vision, are there to get the job done. They know the mission and do their best to deliver what the studio wants while still putting a bit of their own unique stamp on it. J.J. Abrams is a perfect example. And that's exactly why he was brought in, to clean up this mess. Rian is an auteur, and they can only march to the beat of their own drum. Think Kubrick, Scorsese, Wes Anderson, Tommy Wiseau.
I did not hit her. It's not true. It's bull. I did not hit her. I did not. Oh, hi, Mark.
Okay, maybe not Tommy.
You are tearing me apart!
Acting. The point is, Rian's gonna Rian. His back catalog proved it, and he himself frequently goes on record saying he likes to divide and alienate audiences.
I would be worried if everybody across the board was like, yeah, that was a good movie. It's much more exciting to me when you get, a group of people who are like coming up to you and really, really excited about it. And then there are other people who walk out literally saying it was the worst movie I've ever seen. Having those two extremes to me is the mark of the type of movie that I want to make. So.
Which begs the question, why was he even hired in the first place? When it came out, the internet ripped him apart, and rightfully so, and Kathleen Kennedy for allowing it to happen. She was already guilty of putting her own political agendas above storytelling, which appears to be all the rage these days. No. Not allowing that kind of garbage on this channel, in this dojo. That's not even worth a hate video. Not doing it. Not doing it. Which brings us to some brand new fuel that Rian himself is pouring all over this still smoldering fire. In a recent interview with The Atlantic, he said, quote,
"Look, in terms of the Star Wars movie I did, I tried to give it a hell of an ending. I love endings so much that even doing the middle chapter of the trilogy, I tried to give it an ending. A good ending that recontextualizes everything that came before it and makes it a beautiful object unto itself. And that's what makes a movie a movie. It feels like there's less and less of that. This whole poisonous idea of creating intellectual property has completely seeped into the bedrock of storytelling. Everyone is just thinking, how do we keep milking it? I love an ending where you burn the Viking boat into the sea."
Before the movie even came out, insiders like Mark Hamill warned us repeatedly.
I said to Rian, Jedis don't give up. I mean, even if he had a problem, he would maybe take a year to try and regroup. But if he made a mistake, he would try and right that wrong. So right there, we had a fundamental difference. But it's not my story anymore. It's somebody else's story. And Rian needed me to be a certain way to make the ending effective. That's the crux of my problem. Luke would never say that. I'm sorry. Well, in this version, see, I'm talking about the George Lucas Star Wars. This is the next generation of Star Wars. So I almost had to think of Luke as another character. Maybe he's Jake Skywalker. He's not my Luke Skywalker, but I had to do what Rian wanted me to do because it serves the story well. But listen, I still haven't accepted it completely.
Make no mistake, Ryan knew what he was doing. Yeah. It's becoming a distinct pattern in Lucasfilm. The directors of Solo were thrown out, and Ron Howard was brought in to clean up whatever mess that was. The original director of Rise of Skywalker was thrown out so J.J. Abrams could be brought back in to clean up Ryan's mess. It makes you wonder what Trevorrow had planned. And, according to Overlord DVD, the newly reappointed head of Disney, Bob Iger, saw the first cut of Indy 5, immediately called Kathleen Kennedy, and essentially said, no you don't, and they've gone back into heavy reshoots. Allegedly. Check out his video for more on that. Once a month, my best friend and I have a guys' night where we catch whatever movie happens to pique our interest, and afterwards we end up standing in the parking lot for like 2 or 3 hours sometimes, just dissecting what we've seen, picking it apart, flaws, any of those kind of things, and like clockwork, invariably, every single time, the conversation drifts back to The Last Jedi. I said before, it's something of an inside joke for me and him. It literally is an inside joke. Even after all these years, it's like this wound that's never healed, and The Rise of Skywalker was a horrible bandage. But what else could they do? Let me be clear about something. When Ryan's alone, left to play in his own sandbox, he's fine. Looper was a great movie. The Knives Out films are great movies. No problem whatsoever. He has a problem with doing IP movies. This was a known thing. Even with Knives Out, he hated the fact that Glass Onion had the Knives Out tag on it because he didn't want the two associated, even though they were from the same universe, because he hates the ideas of IP. Oh, yeah, let's give him the biggest IP of all time.
And they wanted to give him 3 more movies?
Wait a minute, that's actually a really good point. He hates the idea of IPs, but he was going to agree to do 3 more movies? Sellout. Is that really the best Darth Vader voice you can do? You can do better than that.
Luke, I am your father.
Keep trying. Seriously? Okay, here.
Hello. You've reached Alan Rickman.
Oh my god.